Dan Dyker, the only home where you're going to find recaps of two of the largest speedways in this area, the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway and the dirt track in Fountain City we call Mississippi Thunder Speedway. We're going to have replays of quite a bit coming up on the show today. Matter of fact, segment number 2, we are going to show you the last big portion of the sportsman race from La Crosse last weekend. And in segment number 4, we're going to go back to the first annual Harmston Trucking Hornet Swarm. What a huge payday and what a huge night that was for almost 50 Hornets at MTS last weekend. And we're going to contribute that to segment number 4 today. But as we normally do on the program, as both racetracks are coming down to season point championships, La Crosse was last weekend to end the weekly racing, and MTS will have theirs on Friday night. And of course, we'll have more details on the champions coming up next weekend. So let's go back to the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. We had double features, 20-lap features for the La Crosse late models. Feature race number 1, as the storms were coming, the storms were hitting the racetrack as well. Some great racing on Saturday night. It was Carlson times 2. When you look at the La Crosse late models, Mike Carlson started this one off on the pole. And unlike 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, when a caution came out a couple of times, he lost the race lead and ended up out of the podium finish. This was not going to happen on a Saturday night, as you see Mike Carlson just destroying the field in that B&B Race Engines number 50. Kept everybody at bay and everybody behind, and the battles were second through about 7th place. And as you see Mike take a couple more tugs on the steering wheel to the left, he'll cross first. Brent Kirshner, Brad Powell, Sean Paff, and father Steve Carlson rounded out the top 5. So a nice finish from Mike, who, remember, he really wrecked that car here about a month ago. Took him a couple of weeks to get it back together, and he pulls it into the victory lane. To feature race number 2 we go. It was the elder of the Carlsons getting it done this time with some nice racing up front and midway through. As you see, that was the man that spun out right there, Cam Dzelski, a couple weeks ago to really hurt Mike, but Mike comes back and bounces back with the win. Second event, as they got underway, point leader Steve Carlson took the lead about halfway through the feature. He looked back and, well, nobody behind him as the family sweep of features helped out at the finish line. There was this nice battle between Kirshner and Ty Majeski towards the closing laps of this race. Sean Paff ended up second. It was Ty Majeski getting past the number 8 car of Brent Kirshner for third. It was Degenhart and Henderson rounding out the top 5. Nice finish for Matt Henderson there after some struggles each and every weekend so far as we close out the regular season. So a pair of wins for the Carlsons, as that was the regular points night. We've got one more race coming up for those drivers, of course. That's going to be coming up in October for Oktoberfest. To the sportsman we go, and as Steve Bachman told us when he broke his hand, he was out for 7 races. I'm coming back for one thing and one thing only. I want to win that 20-pound Chase trophy that's going to be given out during Oktoberfest. And he has really claimed stake to stay in that chase. We'll run down who is left, by the way, for late models and sportsmen here in a minute. Steve Bachman grabbed the lead on the restart. That was on lap number 4. Tried to be chased down by Nick Clemens. He tried to make it a good show right here, but nothing for Bachman on this Saturday night. Tony Lees ended up taking third. It was Bad Brad Worthen and Justin Mulliken rounding out the top 5. Mulliken, another strong run for his 2015 season. Started on the pole and finished 5th. Here was the last run that Clemens had for Steve Bachman, but by that time it was all said and done, and Bachman will collect the checkers. His third win on the season. Again, he stays in the La Crosse Sportsman Chase. Most entertaining race of the night to me was in the Thunder Stocks. Kyle Lockington, one of the most impressive young Thunder Stock drivers we've had on the Action Track quarter mile this year. Took him a while to wrestle away the race lead from Scott Malem. After 2 laps running the outside groove, he got his way around the number 28 car. He takes the lead, and he'll take the win. We'll talk about that spin here in a minute. For Lockington, it was his second race win of the year. Malem was disqualified in post-race technical inspections, so the top 5 ended up being Caleb Hardy, Jacinda Paff, Nathan White, and Melissa Rouge. That spin kind of hurt both your point leaders. Andy Moore still had a 6-point lead over Charles Vian heading into the night as Lockington takes the checkered flag. Charles Vian had to bow out of that race after that spin. Andy Moore stayed in and got another couple of points. So a Thunderstock championship now set between those two drivers at Oktoberfest race weekend. We had the Outlaws back out again. Cole Shozy was back after a 1-week absence, has a brand new what he calls the Chevy bucket of bolts. And he started the night with a hot lap and a blown tire, some problems in the heat race, and again, problems here during the feature. But this night was Jason Stark. He went from the back to the lead in just 2 laps of the Outlaw feature. He held on to top Ron Lockington, Jason Bolster, and Cole Shozy. So now that shootout's going to be set for Oktoberfest. Who's going to take the championship? Either Jason Stark, who's been running for Kevin Qualheim all year, or will it be Cole Shozy? We're going to find out here at Oktoberfest. Ron Lockington, of course, still sitting on top of that pile. And it could be interesting to see if a Chevy Silverado can claim stake to the championship. Next up for the Speedway, off this weekend, we're going to come back on September 5th for a 4- and 6-cylinder enduro starting at 7:30 that Saturday night, a 200-lap enduro. The street stocks will race their championship night that night. Also, the following week, we've got street drags Friday, September 11th, and the Eva Destruction Saturday, September 12th. It's going to be the Green Mama Jet Car trailer race, monster trucks. Betty the Bomb is going to be out there. Hornets will be racing. And the advance tickets went on sale earlier this week. So here's who's left in the chase. For the sportsmen, it's Steve Bachman, Nick Clemens, Brad Worthen, and Brian Hesselberg. For the late models, it's Steve Carlson, Matt Henderson, Jeremy Wagner, and Harley Jankowski. 4 drivers in each class, each one person's going to get a big trophy about that high at Oktoberfest race weekend. When we come back, we're going to show you some more racing from Crosse Speedway sportsman style. That's next on 7 Rivers Racing.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified.
600 mods.
Pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Over $400 in rebates available on select American Standard systems. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
And Thompson, and we're green! Tony Lease and Hessinger Berg have put 3 cars behind him. And Lease is a man on a mission. Passing 5 cars, and he's on the outside rail already. Meanwhile, Mulliken's got the race lead. It's Mulliken and Worthen trying to step away from this one early. Bachman's into 3rd. Thompson goes back to 4th. His challenge now is the point leader, Nick Clements. Bad Brad Worthen on the outside rail. Couldn't get it done that time. 2 by 2 goes Bachman and Worthen. Here comes the pressure. Lease has already made his way to 5th. Awfully close corners between Worthen and Clements. Bachman gets past both. The Fastenal 14 of Steve Bachman trying for race win number 3 clears Mulliken. Bachman trying to check out early. Mulliken back to 2nd, then it's Clements, Lease, and Worthen. Nick Clements will put the challenge on Mulliken. Door to door, they come out of turn 4 for second. Tony Lee started in the back. Now he's worked his way to third. Mulliken back to fourth. He'll dance with Brad Worth and stay in the top 5. Then it's Thompson, Martin, Gilster, and Hesselberg. So your 3 hard chargers now running first, second, and third. Almost at the halfway mark. Worthen holding on to fourth, Mulliken fifth. Might have some lap cars before this one's all said and done. There goes Radke, Eckelberg, and Gordon. Back up front, we're halfway home. Steve Bachman trying to get his 3rd feature win of the year, said all he wants to do is win the chase. Here comes some lap traffic. Will they become pawns? Bachman races down the Crosse Speedway back straightaway wall. He'll clear 1 cars now 2. Nick Clements is slowly reeling Bachman in. He's got it down to 3 car lengths. Here we go. Watch out, Lees. Whoa! Tony Lee slides between Eckelberg and Gordon to take that 3rd spot again. Lees almost hit the back straightaway wall out of turn 2. Back up front, Clemens is in shot of Bachman. We've got ourselves a 3-lap shootout with Steve Bachman and Nick Clements. Tony Lee's obvious handling problems down the back straightaway. It was a 1-car advantage for Steve Bachman. Now it's 2 as they clear John Radke. What does your point leader, Nick Clements, have for the last lap for Steve Bachman? It all comes down to this final points night. White flag is out, 1 to go. Final turns for the sportsman. Clements may have slipped up and turned 4 a tad bit. Steve Bachman, your feature race winner.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified,
600 mods.
pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Over $400 in rebates available on select American Standard systems. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
Welcome back, St. Louis Racing, K2E GTV. I'm Dan Dyker. Again, Congratulations, as you just saw, Steve Bachman picking up that sportsman win at La Crosse last weekend. To the Mississippi Thunder Speedway we go, and it was a huge night. First annual Hornet Swarm had a new sponsor come out for that class. He's also going to be sponsoring the Hornets next year. That's Harmston Trucking. Even Mr. Harmston was in this race as well. Everybody thought with an $860 to win race that 9-time feature winner Johnny Severson would walk away with the cash. He had the pole. His car bows out halfway through. That gave the lead to Jeremy Johnson, who was fast in his heat. He came out and took the race lead. His car breaks. So who was left to win the $860, the richest race he's ever competed in? There he is, Mark Bornitz in the 26. He held on, multiple challenges by Howard Harmston, but in the end, it was the 26 that took home the big payday. Said it was the biggest race he's ever been in his entire career at MTS or La Crosse. And a lot of congratulations went out. Matter of fact, the 7th annual Fall Festival at Mississippi Thunder Speedway may have another huge payout show for the Hornets. Stay tuned to this program and my Facebook page for that. Let's go to the Wausoda Super Stocks. Ironically enough, Johnny Severson had the most wins ever in MTS Speedway history. That was broken by that man right there. The 7R of Tommy Richards came out and picked up his 12th feature win of the year. He now owns the track record for the most wins in a single season at MTS after winning this 20-lap feature. And again, he's done it from the back, he's done it from the middle, he's done it from the pole. He's got over 20 wins his entire season racing at MTS and some of the dirt tracks within about a 3-state area. So congratulations goes out to Tommy Richards. He finishes ahead of Brandon Duhlman and Adam Stockhausen, who rounded out the top 3. What an incredible season he's had, on top of the point standings, going for his 3rd straight championship. That was his 12th straight win at MTS. To the next races we go, USRA Modified. So we're in full force. And Keith Foss, every time this guy comes back to the track, he shows former track champions how to get it done. Only his 5th trip back to the track in 2015 put in a dominating display. He led every lap, grabbing his 2nd feature win, and he crossed the finish line with close to a half a lap margin over 2nd-place finisher Lucas Schott. Dustin Sorensen held off probable 2015 track champion Brad Waits for 3rd. Waits, of course, one of those drivers that's always dominating in the USRA Modifieds, and it just wasn't as nice as night as you see Keith Foss just doing away with that 16-car field last Friday night. Sean Mann was going to bring us into the USRA Limited late model class. We've topped out with 15 this year. Regular season championship is coming up Friday night. We expect a lot more of these cars coming out at MTS next year. Let's go to the highlight reel and show you Sean Mann, who's run somewhat of a limited schedule this year with just a week remaining in the regular point seasons. Mann had to come up short on collecting a feature win 2 weeks ago. He did grab a heat race win, and that wasn't satisfying enough. Friday night, with a whole bunch of hard chargers coming in behind him at about 92 miles an hour, Sean Mann topped the field in the limited late model division. You see the hard chargers that were coming on a very shiny track that we had Friday night at MTS. He finished in front of Winona's Tom Brink with it almost finishing 2nd behind Mann, and multi-feature winner Justin Sauce rounded out the top 3. USRA B-Mods Parker Hale's been waiting 13 years to collect the track championship at MTS. If you show the highlight right here, he's going to get win number 4 of the 2015 race season. This was another one. Yeah, Sean Wall, you see a Walski right there, the 95. This thing was close pretty much all the way through till the closing laps. And Parker Hale fended everybody off, knowing that this is inching him closer to his 1st ever track championship. And he did it by holding off Sean Walski. He also got a clean sweep of the evening after winning the 3rd heat race on the night. Winona's Brandon Reitzel in the Quattro enjoyed his best run of the year, racing to a strong 3rd place finish just behind Sean Walski. So this young man right here, Parker Hale, picks up the feature win en route to what could be a track championship, determining what happens on Friday night. Let's get you to the 600 mods. There were 3 Sezeskis running. One Sezeski won a heat race, another one took 4th, another one won a feature. As you see right here, it was 2nd generation driver Jake Szczeski collecting both his first ever heat race win and his first ever feature. What a race that is, side by side. His dad's lurking back there in that green machine, number 40, as a matter of fact. Szczeski came from the outside of the second row to run a fast and smooth race on the outside. He stayed ahead of 600-mod speedsters Kyle Jumbeck, who's got a couple of wins this year, Brad Kramer, and Chris Gilbertson. And again, this is a second-generation driver. As you see, he crosses the stripe ahead of his father. Another Szczeski was a little ways back. So three of them coming out doing a great job in the 600 mods this year. To the MTS Sports One we go. This has been a very exciting class. Anywhere between 9 and 15 cars this year. Remember, this was the old class of the power stocks we had last year, so they have a new rule package, and we'd expect a lot of them coming out next year. Jordan Becker jumped to the top of the Sportsman point standings by winning Friday night's Sportsman feature, finishing ahead of hard-charging Andrew Osman, who was back out to play in the dirt, and Lee Hager. Congratulations goes out to Lee Hager in Minnesota City. He won himself an award outside of racing. It was a community sportsman type individual award, so congratulations to Lee. This was a good race right here. Osman did what he could, kind of bobbled right there coming out of turn 4. But Jordan Becker, if he wouldn't have missed the first 2 nights of racing, he'd already had the points lead weeks back, as he's had some races with Derek Sutton in that grocery getting number 33 station wagon. But Jordan Becker, since he came back out, that new machine has been on a tear, and he's got one more to try to win here. Season-ending points coming up Friday night, then their Fall Fest coming up in October. Next up for the MTS guys, it is championship night, Friday night, and then in a couple of weeks, it's going to be the $100,000 to win weekend. Matter of fact, it's $120,000 to win weekend. September 10th, 11th, and 12th. The rain date is the 13th. There'll be an open practice September 9th. $100,000 paydays, not only for the Nationals for the B mods, but some other classes are going to be racing as well. But that's going to be coupled with a $20,000 to win race on that Saturday night. So if you've got nothing to do that weekend, I'd be heading up to Fountain City and making your plans steady, as that's going to be a huge weekend. I saw the entry list so far, and you've got some drivers coming from about 13 different states. They had 154 entries. That was just as of last week, and the deadline hasn't even hit yet. Check out MississippiThunder.com if you want to see the entire entry list so far. Coming up next, we're going to go back to last weekend. Mark Borditz's $860 to win Hornet Swarm feature. We're going to show you that coming up next on 7 Wheelers Racing.
Get ready for the Thunder!
The Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Your Friday night racing destination.
Every Friday night.
Super stocks, modified,
600 mods.
pure stocks, street stocks, B-mods.
It's racing excitement, dirt track style. Tickets $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. Students free with an ID. And this year, kids 17 and under free with an adult admission. Friday night racing starts at 7.
Bring on the Thunder!
Dirt track style at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
Highway 35 just north of Fountain City.
Some of the best moments in life happen at home. American Standard Heating and Air works smarter to make them all more comfortable.
Over $400 in rebates available on select American Standard systems. Call Carey Heating and Air Conditioning today for a free estimate.
It's completely.
Hey, I'll just duck out of the way and go to the low side.
Well, we were going to lose both of our leaders in that one.
Harmston now, the sponsor of tonight's event, has worked his way in the top 5.
Working around the outside of Harmston is the 86 machine of Mitch Ballack. Ballack started 8th in the running order. He's running 4th now.
Ballack's on the outside, Harmston on the inside as that battles for 4th and 5th as Johnson now tries to get Severson on the outside.
3 wide battle deep in the field as they come out of 4 and race down the front straightaway.
Here comes Johnson again. Wheels to the outer door in the corners.
Yeah, this time looking to the outside to see if he might be able to work his way around Severson's 26. Severson with some experience in SCCA racing. We'll see if that is transferring over to the way that he runs the tracker tonight. Unfortunately, it looks like he may have just lost the lead with Johnson on the outside.
Johnson coming out of Elmwood, Wisconsin. Harmston now a solid fourth as he steamrolls past the field. J.R. Turtelot up in the number 5 position. That brand new red 25. Matter of fact, Dan, I talked to him a little while ago during intermission. That was his daily street car up until 2 weeks ago. The 25 right there. 35, I mean.
Gotta love it. They do what they need to do to come out here and have some fun with Hornet racing. You know, if you look at these cars, I think they're all starting to exhibit the same problem. A lot of push in the turns. We're seeing the front ends of these cars skate up the banking.
Oh, Stublin and Turtelot trade paint awfully close in turn 4. Those two have raced against each other for many years in short track racing. Hundorf's going to pull up lame off the track. He goes.
89 off.
63 of Happel, who was last Friday night's feature winner, trying to work his way into the top 5 as he's looking underneath the 35 of J.R. Turtelot. Single file through the top 4. Then a lot of side-by-side action, some give and go from 5th on back.
Can't remember the last time I saw Stevenson get buried like this. I mean, Steve Bornans did it once last year. One of the first 2 times he came out, but barring any cautions, Johnson could be on his way to an $860 payday, and if you've got Frisbee number 5, you're going to want to hold that tight because it could be worth $50. Yeah, that's what I said.
You said 5.
No, I was looking at the wrong number.
Uh-oh, trouble for J.R. Turtelot. He's off the pace on the back straightaway.
But Severson's about to bow out of the race.
Oh, 2 cars who are quick. Slowing down. Severson drops to the Lightning Speedway.
What a tough break. Bonuses are dwindling down for drivers that are still running.
Caution is out as Turtelot is unable to find an opening to get.
I think he's telling the flagman he's just going to go right off the track. Look at JR slapping the steering wheel. And Johnson's all over the place. Bumper tag, and Johnson's got problems. And he's going to go round and round. Nate Towner gets sent into the wall. Johnson's got problems just when Mark Borden's trying to steal the race lead, and Harmston trying to win his own race.
So the 917 of Johnson just did not come up to speed when the green flag flew, and look at the damage to the front end of that car. He took. So Mark Bornitz going to take us back to green flag action. With the Hornets entry, Ryan Happel in the 63, Howard Harmston, I'm sure, going to try and make things change. Green flag is in the air.
5 laps to an $860 payday.
Bornitz with a good jump. Happel up to second. Harmston trying to battle around the outside.
Bornitz trying to make what it says as his bumper come real again. Game over. You've been probed.
Oh, hard roll. Straight away.
I need time.
Here we go.
12:22.
Get a quick check on the driver. Took a hard pounding on the back straightaway.
Slid up the banking in turn number 2 and made hard contact with the concrete wall, and then commenced into a series of barrel rolls.
Five laps to go as Bornitz brings the remainders out of turn 4 to a green.
Bornitz, Happel, Harmston, your top 3. And Bornitz got a great jump that time.
I was just going to say, and he's trying to make sure that nobody's going to step away, but last week's feature winner, Ryan Happel, is still trying to be in contention, as is Howard Harmston, trying to win his own first annual event.
Side-by-side duel for, oh, look at that, the rear end of Speed's not even on the ground as the 86 pushed him down the front straightaway. I don't think I've ever seen the rear tires of a car off the ground and pick up speed.
And those two collide again in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Ballot getting a little Get a little excited in the 86 machine.
Right now, the hard charger award is going to come down to the 88 or the 31, as that's Brendan Lemoyne and David Ballack.
No, it'd be the 83. He's up to fourth.
So you're going to have the 88, the 83, or the 31. So 3 cars.
Harmston took over second, but then gives it back to Happel in the 63. Folks, white flag is out for your race leader. One more lap to go for Bornitz.
And this may be, the Bornitz have been racing a long time. This could be one of the biggest money races he's ever won. Lemoyne goes to the inside of the 86, trying for a top 5 finish. A lot of money is out there. That's what these guys are battling. Steve Bornitz, your first annual Howard Harmston feature winner. Howard himself, Dan Bailey, is going to take home $600.
Well, again, congratulations, Mark Bornitz. Biggest race, biggest payday he's ever been a part of in a Hornet. 860 to win. Thank a lot of businesses and fans that were coming up to the announcer booth to Dan Bailey and I, and they were donating $100 here, $60 here, $100 here, $20 here. They were padding 1st through 30th and giving them extra pay, which was just simply outstanding. As an announcer, and you see things like that with businesses and individuals just bringing up checkbooks and bringing up cash, because they know the Hornets, they're the entertainment. These guys work hard, and it was great to see all those additional funds being thrown in for that first annual Harmston Trucking Swarm, second annual coming up next year. For more information about what's going on postseason-wise, Enduros, Eva Destructions, Oktoberfest, Fall Fest, make sure you check out both my TV Facebook page and my WKTY Race Report Facebook page. That show comes up Saturday from 1 until 2, and we'll get you set for the postseason until Fall Fest and Oktoberfest. Until then, I'm Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us here on KQEG TV.